Hello guys, welcome back to a brand new tactic video, and today we have got three back systems all made from Pep Guardiola. I know you love a Pep tactic and I love making them. I do want to say if this video gets up to 70 likes, I'll make the best tactics of Pep from me the entire year all in one video. If you do enjoy the tactics, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Let's get into the tactic. To actually make this tactic, we are simply going to go over and load in a tiki-taka, and we are going to select any formation because it's quite a unique shape. Before we do go over that, I will quickly show you what I've done with the first tactic. Again, there are three tactics today. The first tactic gave me these sets of results. So it is going to be a Premier League win, a Champions League win, where we battered Real Madrid, and I mean battered them. The FA Cup runners-up, unfortunately. We did win the Carabao Cup and the Community Shield, so it is going to be 1, 2, 3, a quadruple winning season, and obviously that Club World Championship as well. So technically 5 trophies. Now, I will say as well, data hub-wise, it was really, really good. It's going to be 4.37 goals per game, only 0.79 conceded, over 22.8 shots a match, over a 90% pass completion, and a very, very good tackle win ratio. And I would imagine if we quickly go over into that Premier League, where you can see we took over stat-wise, only losing 2 games, pretty much every single stat line we are going to take home as well. A remarkable season. Let's go over and make this tactic. Loaded in the 4-3-3, but don't worry, it is going to change to a 3-back. I do want to quickly say, if you want to get all 3 tactics today, you also want them on mobile, you want them on console, you want them early, you want my rebuild files on the second channel, you want access to this month's giveaway, and so many more perks. You can come over and join the Patreon, where we've just hit over 4,800 people, so we're pushing for 5,000 people. We've got massive group chats over there as well. If you like Football Manager, it's the best place to be. I'll see you there shortly. But let's go over and talk through this 3-back system then. So we are going to start things off with actually changing this sweeper keeper to a sweeper keeper who simply is going to remain on support. Now with this, you could argue Edison, for example, might come out and tackle harder and things like that. But for me, in this game, it doesn't really work because the match engine is a little bit iffy sometimes with that sort of stuff. So if you want to go 100% realism, you can do it. But also I've got to be reminded of myself that you guys download these tactics, and if your goalkeeper comes running out, tries to put a tackle in and doesn't connect, you're going to be quite angry. So that's exactly why I have not got that on today. Now we're quickly going to drag him up there so I can focus on this back three, as we are going to put in a libero into the middle, which of course is going to be your John Stones traditional role. Absolute joy to use it in this game. It works really, really well. I can tell you that for free. Now what I will say is we are going to deploy 2 ball playing defenders on the left and on the right hand side, and they are both going to have 2 instructions. That is going to be shoot less often and also stay wide. Very important they do provide a little bit of width in the team, because of course we are not going to have wing backs in this actual system, as this is going to be focused around the 3-2-4-1. So it's going to be very attacking, very fun, and if I actually introduce this player up here, you can get a rough understanding of how this team is going to be looking. So it's very, very attacking, but you know what, also quite balanced, because we cover every area of the pitch. It's actually quite a consistent tactic, but to help that out, of course, we are going to introduce the obvious role in this team when you've got a libero. That is going to be the usage of a halfback, and we are going to introduce him simply on tackle harder and of course on defend. Again, this role in the team, these 2 roles, libero and the halfback, do not change them. It is purely the DNA of the entire tactic. Next to him, we are going to go with a roaming playmaker, and we are going to have him simply set to support and no custom instructions. It's not a mistake. We've just kept him nice and simple. Now going over to both of the wingers, they are actually going to be pretty much almost exactly the same, but a little bit different. So when it comes to the right hand side, we are simply going to have a winger on support with 1 instruction, and that is simply going to be get further forwards, because I do want them getting forwards, and you know, when it comes to the attacking, when it does come to the defending, they can come back and obviously form almost a 4-block in midfield as well. Now on the left hand side, it is going to be the same role, so another winger on support, but we is going to have 1 more instruction, and that's going to be on get further forwards and roam from the position. Now on the left hand side, we are going to introduce a default shadow striker, which is why on the left I've got him on roam from position, because the shadow striker is going to push up the field almost as a striker, so this winger can roam in this little pocket here and just replace him in the sort of area that he is going to be pushing up from. Next to him, we are going to have an AP, but actually on support, and we are going to have him on a few instructions that is going to consist of cross less often, hold up the ball, and also roam from the position. I do not want this player putting balls in the box. I want to work the ball into the box, not lump it into the box. A very, very big difference. And lastly, to link up this play, quite obviously, we are going to go with the complete forward that is simply going to be set to attack. to the team instructions. So then, starting off in possession, to give ourselves a bit more width, we are going to go two fairly wide when it comes to that attacking width. We are going to work the ball into the box, as we discussed. Pep's famous for this. He's patient. He doesn't mind taking the whole game to get the goal. Not that it really takes that long nowadays, to be honest, but patience is key. Of course, we're going to play out from the back. We've got Olibero. We've got two ball-playing defenders, two DMs to come and pick the ball up as well. Some top talent in the team. You've got to be using it. The tempo is going to be up to slightly higher, with the passing directness down to shorter, and moving on in to what is going to be the in transition. We are going to hit them with the counter press. We're going to leave this blank because we're not really a counter-attacking team, and holding the shape is a little bit too negative in my opinion when you've got this much talent on the pitch, and also it's quite a free-flowing formation at the end of the day. We're going to play to the centre backs and also take short goal kicks, and other than that, it's going to be pretty much left as it is. In out of possession, things are going to change up a little bit. Of course, we are going to deploy the famous high defensive line with the high press line of engagement. We're going to step up with that defensive line as well. We're not afraid to get aggressive. We're going to get stuck in to add a little bit of emergency into the game, and we're also going to simply hit more often when it comes to the trigger press. So that's going to give you a 3-2-4-1. Of course, we went over and made the treble 3-1, and another one for good measure. Let's go over and see what we've done with the treble 3-1. So I actually took the treble 3-1 over to Bayern Munich, one of his former teams. This tactic is definitely designed for a better team, I will say. Well, we do win the Pokal and the Bundesliga, probably to be expected. Some of our players put on an absolute masterclass. Almost every single player did. And as you can see, 65% of the ball in the Bundesliga, a really good set of stats. And the data hub as well, over 4 goals a game, only 0.94 conceded, which for a 3-back system that is this attacking is really, really good. Over 18 shots and above a 90% pass completion. A very good tactic. Let's go and build it. So this is going to be Pep's 3-3-3-1 endgame. So it is going to be the treble 3-1, a very attacking system. Now you can use this with a powerhouse team, so you could use it with Man City, or you could simply have this to switch to in the game after using the 3-2-4-1 variant, or maybe the other variant coming up shortly. It's very attacking, a lot more attacking than the 3-2-4-1. Of course, we lose a deeper midfield player, so the goalkeeper is going to simply be a sweeper keeper on support. The ball-playing defenders on the left and on the right are simply on stay wide, and a covering ball-playing defender in the middle on the default instruction. A DM comes in on defend, on tackle harder. Don't go crazy. Do not introduce a Volante or anything like that in this position. It has to be a DM to protect the back three. The wingers on the right and on the left are actually quite good because they will help defend, but also we have added on run wide, roam, and tackle harder. When they have the ball, they can obviously make the wide runs because we've got 2 inside and inverted options when it goes up the pitch. So on the left, an inside forward on attack, on pass it shorter, and sit narrow, and on the right exactly the same but as an inverted winger on attack. So this is a really good way of playing football, guys, because these real pushed up wingers will come inside and the wingers can replace them on the out, and it forms such a ridiculous attack. It's so hard to stop for the opposition. In the midfield, we are going to go with an attacking midfield player on attack, on pass it shorter, dribble more, roam, and also move into the channels. And lastly, a complete forward again to get your goals and link up the play. He's simply going to be left on the default on attack. Again, all built off the tiki-taka, and it is going to remain on the positive because attacking was a little bit too extreme to go, considering how attacking the actual player roles are inside of the game. Now, we are going to go all the way down to fairly narrow. We're going to compress the team on this one. We are still going to work the ball into the box, and it does share a lot of the similarities compared to the first tactic. It's going to go all the way down to much shorter. We are going to play out from the back, and we actually are going to deploy a slightly higher tempo. So it's quite basic, but it's honestly all you need. In transition, it's going to be literally the same. So counter press, play to the centre backs, and also take short goal kicks, purely because you obviously want to play to the centre backs. We haven't got full backs, and also he does press to win the ball back, so pretty much says what it does on the tin. Out of possession, we are going to go with exactly the same, the high press, the higher defensive line. We're going to step up more, we're going to get stuck in. This time we are going to prevent short goalkeeper distribution because we've got more players up there, and we're going to hit more often when it comes to that trigger press. And that's going to give you, boys and girls, Pep's 3-3-3-1 endgame tactic. We've got one more tactic designed for smaller teams, maybe some underdogs, and to run down the clock, really. Bit of more of a negative one, more controlling tactic. Let's go over and see what we whipped up. Actually took over the last tactic with Barcelona. Now, I know I said it is for a smaller team, but I like to keep the same teams sort of with the manager. So Pep managed Bayern, Barca, Man City. I like to keep it realistic. Unless a manager has not managed enough teams, then I have to whack in random teams, of course. But we did win the Spanish Super Cup. We got to the semi-finals of the Spanish Cup, and we actually won the league quite convincingly, with a lot of players putting in a real solid performance. The one loss coming in against Sevilla Did we do the double over Madrid? We did the double over Real Madrid as well, beat them twice, and as you can see, 66% of the ball, so a really controlling tactic, and still scoring a lot of goals as well. And I would imagine the data hub is going to look quite good. There you go, that's the control. 92% pass completion, 3.42 goals a game, so you're going to see it quite obviously now. You're going to score a little bit less, but have a lot more of the ball, and that's exactly what this tactic was designed to do. It's going to look like this, and it is very similar to the 3-2-4-1, but the way that it's rolled, the roles work, the instructions, because instructions are a big thing in this game, and I will say with this, it might look the same on paper, but it's like an opposite tactic. So do stick around and get it, because if you are playing as a smaller team or you just like possession, you're going to want to favour this one probably over the first one you saw. So the goalkeeper is simply going to be a sweeper keeper on support. The back line is going to be 2 ball playing defenders on shoot less and also stay wider. And in the middle, we are going to scrap the libero in this one. Again, a little less of a risk being taken, and simply a ball playing defender on cover. We'll then go with a DM on the left on support, on take fewer risks and hold the position, and next to him, that default roaming playmaker comes right back into the team. On the right hand side of the pitch and on the left, exactly the same. We are going to go with 2 wingers on support, on pass it short, cut inside, get forwards and also roam from the position. And when it comes to the attacking midfield players, there's a little bit of a difference just to show you. So on the left hand side, pass it short, roam and move into the channels, and on the right hand side we've got pass it short, cross less, get further forwards, roam and move into the channels, all feeding that complete forward on attack. This is a much more possession based tactic, so if you like that style, you want this one. This also is tiki-taka on the positive mentality, so nothing does change really too much. Personally, having it on balanced was a lot better for possession, but we simply were not getting enough chances, so I kept it on positive and it worked a lot better. We are still going to go with that fairly wide when it comes to the attack and width. We're going to go all the way down to much shorter when it comes to the passing directness, meaning the tempo is going to be set to slightly lower. We're going to play out from the back and focus to play through the middle, while all the time doing this, working the ball into the box while using low crosses. When it comes to in transition, it's going to be exactly the same, so counter press, play to the centre backs, and also take short goal kicks. Nice and simple. And lastly, out of possession, we are going to go with that high defensive line, the high pressing line of engagement, more often, get stuck in, and also step up more when it comes to the defensive line. So quite aggressive out of possession, but in possession, incredibly intelligent. And that's going to give you boys and girls back home 3 variants of Pep's free back. You've got 2 3-2-4-1s and 1 treble 3-1. A lot of mouthfuls there, a lot of threes coming in. So a lot of Pep's tactics. You guys seem to love Pep tactics. If you have, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Once again, if you want to get a load of perks, all exclusive to this channel, by the way, and giveaways, you can come check out that Patreon. And if you enjoy rebuilds, go and check out the second channel, because we're posting a lot now. We've done some really big rebuilds, got some good ones coming out before FM25. And when FM25 lands, your team might be first. I'll see you in the next one. Enjoy the rest of your day.